All right, so this will be a day trading recap for Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026. Pretty straightforward day. Still continuing on with one and done and first to trigger. So this is number 5 of 30. And that is a process and approach put up by my coach to basically help build up consistency and discipline in your trades, and then slowly incorporating size over time and trying to figure out kind of where emotional triggers and other issues might be lying. So that is the thing we're doing right now, and it's working. Very consistent, very disciplined. Haven't really encountered much emotional issues on that yet. I think that'll come when we start adding a little bit of size in here down the road. But yeah, if you're interested in learning how to do this and the entire adventure that day trading is, I highly recommend you see this gentleman over here. And yeah, you will not regret it. But I'll let next part kind of explain exactly what he offers. I am a student of this gentleman. This is Pat Mitchell. He is a professional day trader, though he originally was in blue-collar work. And he has been in the markets for a little over a decade now. And he has built up a incredible process and knowledge base when it comes to learning how to day trade. He runs a service called Trick Trades. He has also put together inside of Trick Trades a program called SizeUp, and that's what I do. And it is a structured program for learning how to day trade. You start with a small cash account, and you basically build that up with your education, experience, and screen time to eventually hit different milestones and become a full-time professional day trader. So if you're interested in something like that, great person, probably one of the highest quality coaches when it comes to day trading out there. If not the highest quality. I don't personally know of any other coaches that I can stand by or say that about, and I've been around a few of them in terms of their services, and nothing even comes close to what Pat offers. So if you're looking for a high quality coach, I cannot recommend him enough. And like I said before, you can find him over at tricktrades.com. He also has a YouTube channel on his own where he posts recaps usually daily. If you want to check that out, you can get a little preview of the kind of information he offers and the quality. And that is just a very, very small amount of the knowledge he possesses. But yeah, definitely check him out. It will be worth your time and effort to go through some of his content and judge for yourself. And with that being said, let's get into the charts. Okay, left-hand side, I have my daily charts for SPY and Qs, and I only trade SPY and Qs. And in the middle is your intraday chart, 1 minute candles, and then here on the right, order execution and management. And yeah, you can see our levels that Pat developed last night and refined during the pre-market session. These blue levels right here, as well as the trend lines. The red dashed risk lines, I put those on there myself because that's something I prefer to see. And this morning kind of did a gap up, so we were in this upper channel kind of up on here in SPY, and then in between these two levels here on Qs. We had these moving averages that were actually a bit closer, so it was one of those things where we were just keeping an eye on everything to see where we were going to open up. So as things kind of came into the open, we were looking to, again, here we go, short or long, but we had a kind of a divergence, if I remember correctly, with what he said. The long on Qs had more protection, and the short on SPY had more protection, which is kind of nice. So you have one ticker where you're looking to go one direction, the other ticker you're looking to go the other. So it kind of, since these are kind of interlinked with who's listed in both these ETFs, sometimes you can have an issue where they'll kind of both work with each other, or they'll, again, so if you don't have to have multiple order managers open or order entries open for the same ticker, especially if your levels are a bit close, which was nice. So in this one, because of the one and done and first to trigger kind of protocol that I'm working right now, I took the first one to trigger, which was Qs. So we opened up, came down into this level. The 5 EMA was also sitting right here. So I entered on the 5. And then as it came down into the level, added 1. And then just paid myself on the reaction. Pull those up right here. And yeah, I mean, it was very straightforward. And that just happened to be where everything was kind of laid out in terms of moving averages, the technical levels, and everything that we were interested in. And it worked beautifully. And it has for the past 5 trading days. And that's the thing, is like quick in, quick out, not really hanging around to see what's going on, because as you can see, again, came down, added or entered, corrected and averaged, first reaction, and then just a little bit more follow through on it, and then it ultimately failed. So technically it is a failed trade long term, but again, you take that first reaction off a valid level with lots of support there in terms of the technical level and the moving average. Nothing really to worry about unless you're trying to hold and hope and go for a home run or something that the chart really isn't saying to do. Because once you came moving down, it's kind of one of those things where looking a little weak, especially after, again, kind of the sell-off and pop-up that was yesterday. So it's one of those things where don't want to mess around, don't need to hang out in these charts for a super long time to see that resolution. And that's been a bad habit of mine in the past, was only enter relatively small size looking for that bigger move, and it's like you'd be green right in here, and then it would just go against you. You'd probably, it's coming down, so you're thinking it's testing again, so it's like, oh, I'm going to average in. Okay, and then you're just adding more size for a trade that ultimately doesn't work and stops you out, and you take a decent sized loss on something that was originally green or had a good opportunity to get out. So just some perspective there in terms of in a volatile-ish market, especially when, if you see, again, we were kind of testing tops of ranges or moving back towards that, where we opened up kind of thing. It was like, generally want to favor more of the short, but doesn't mean you have to play only the shorts. So something you just got to keep in mind. And also don't be super greedy, because it's one of those things where like you will potentially damage yourself doing that. And you want consistency, repetition, that you build the experience, the discipline, both mentally and emotionally. And you can do this day in, day out, rinse and repeat. And what seems like small gains to a lot of people, well, I mean, just remember, it scales out. So again, you can start making more and more with it. As time goes on, you grow your account, you build everything up. I think people get a little too ahead of themselves trying to just slam size in when they have no business slamming size, and they don't have the discipline or anything. And that's, again, what probably gets traders in the most amount of trouble, is just not ready for that. And when they do it, just does not work out for them. They get burned, they get jaded, it skews their perspective instead of just kind of sitting back and trying to figure out what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong. And sometimes when you're a new trader, you don't know what's right and what's wrong. And that is why I would highly recommend anyone that's getting into this, get a coach, get a mentor. It's extremely helpful. You may be looking at one and be like, hey, that's super expensive. Why can't I just do this on my own? You can do this on your own if you really want to, but what you ultimately end up paying in the end, trying to do this on your own, may be way more expensive than actually just hiring a good, competent coach. which is what I did. Like I was on my own for a while, and it just I get radical swings, and it's like ultimately when you add up all the wins and all the losses, you don't really go anywhere. You're just spinning your wheels, and you don't know really why. So that's why I went to Trick Trades and got Pat's help in terms of what am I doing right, what am I doing wrong, listening to his guidance, his perspective on things, his strategy, all of that, and how he does his planning and technical analysis. And again, just to this day, he still blows my mind on things he can spot that I never would have even caught or picked up on in terms of just what is basic technical analysis and ultimately reading price action. But yeah, if you are looking for a coach that can teach you a lot of this stuff, remember, you have to absorb it. He can show you the way, but you still have to put in the work yourself. Come over to tricktrades.com, sign up, give it a shot. Promise you won't be disappointed if you want to give us a genuine effort. If you want a sample of what he offers, you can jump over to his YouTube channel. It's at Trick Trades and see what he offers. I mean, it's just a tip of the iceberg. It's the free stuff. He's not going to give away everything, obviously. He's put too much blood, sweat, and effort to do that. So I highly recommend checking him out. And like I said, sign up if you are serious about doing this, especially long term. If you're just going to treat it as a hobby, I mean, yeah, look at this as a career. That's what he says. You're just going to treat it as a hobby. He's going to just, again, it's not the right approach. But anyway, everyone, have a good evening. I will see you all tomorrow for the next one. And onward we go. Later.